Okay, so here's my 96 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, or ZJ. Yes, I run Optima batteries. I've had good luck with them. I've run them in my hot rod, my race car. I don't think I have one in the Bronco right now, but I do have an AGM type battery. But if you see that right there, it says made in Mexico. I've had some friends that say they've questioned their quality ever since then. I've never had any issues with them, but I love them. I've had buddies in their race cars, and the batteries have come out when they've wrecked them, and no issues. But I'm gonna keep running them. I mean, I'm looking for other options. So either way, this is my Jeep ZJ. It came stock with a 4.0. It now has a 4.2 crank. I first started with the cast pistons, and then I decided to go with the DSS forged pistons. I did a port and polish job, just basic on the head, stock head, everything block, from a stock style header, water pump, this in your stock distributor. I did go to an electric fan. I made a video about plastic welding, my first plastic welding attempt. I put a auxiliary fan out of a WJ, and it doesn't blow enough air, so I'm going to be fixing that. I'll do a video on that. But basically it's a 4.6. I did upgrade to the newer intake because people say the runners, the length and the way the intake is designed makes a difference. Also, filter kit, and if you see that I've got this here, plastic is just temporary, but this came off a 99 Jeep. This throttle body came from, I think his name's like Leigh Performance or something like that. So if you look at a regular stock Jeep throttle body, it's a lot smaller. It actually necks down. He basically sends you one, charges you a core, you take the throttle position sensor off, gives you directions. He actually makes a gasket, because I think this is the opening on this intake is only like 60 or 61 millimeters, so you got to open it up a millimeter or two if you want the full effect. But basically when he gets your core back, he refunds your money, and it's bigger throttle body makes a difference. So I was going to do bumpers on this Jeep, and I decided, you know, they want over $1,000 for a set of bumpers, you know, and then you really get nothing that's exactly what you want. Maybe it's exactly what you want, go for it. But I have a torch, plasma cutter, and a welder. I'm not an expert welder or fabricator, so I said, well, let me do a DIY kit. Well, then the DIY kit was $200 or $300 just for pre-cut, and they make some nice kits, don't get me wrong. And then the shipping's another $200 or $300 for 2 bumpers, so it was looking like $1,000. And I said, well, I've got a weekend or whatever, so I made bumpers for this. Like I said, I'd looked at bumper options. I wanted a hitch in the front in case I gotta park a trailer in, or what if I need a winch in the front or in the back. So I end up putting a hitch in this one, and then this is for my tow bar, because I usually pull this behind a vehicle or an RV or something to take it out and have some fun with it. So I welded all that up. But bottom line is, instead of paying $1,000 or so for a bumper that was close to what I wanted and having to hack it a little bit or cut it up, or, you know, they come beautiful, they're nice if that's what you want, but I like being a little bit different. So like I said, I put the hitch in the front, and I didn't make a video of me doing this. This was before I got talked into doing videos. So basically I welded this myself. Like I said, not a certified welder. Welded both sides. It's made out of 3/16 steel. But if you want some plans and you don't mind making a couple little changes to make yours unique, or just follow his plans and put them on there, Flatlander 4x4, you go on there, you make them the plans. It even has like CAD drawings the last time I checked. So that's how I made the bumper. This is actually coated with a Monsterliner. Okay, it's a truck bed liner or whatever you want to call it. They have a bunch of different colors, 30 something colors. This is the color I chose. I like it. And basically I can pick up a rock. This is the driver's side fender. Right, it's not bulletproof, but it does make a difference. Okay, I didn't worry about going off-road and getting it scratched. The Jeep is on 31s, and a lot of people are like, hey, I want to put 33s or 35s. You know, I didn't want to do that. This is basically my dog bus, if you will. And I didn't want it too high because my dog's got to get in it. I did LED lights. I bought new light covers off of Rock Auto. And then I did the LED headlights, which makes a huge difference. I got them off of like eBay. And they do make a big difference. I rebuilt the transmission. It has a 42RE in it, stock transmission. I just rebuilt it. It had 200,000 miles on it. Didn't want a motor making more torque to tear it up. Budget boost on it. I got off of eBay from Supreme Suspensions. Nothing fancy. All right. I'm going to put some rock sliders or whatever you call them, but I'm going to use them for steps. They're going to come out a couple inches. That way my dogs can step in it. And like I said, this is basically my dog bus. You see all the dog hair in it? Well, I just took my dogs on a little trip off-roading. So, you know, I can take it off-road and I can haul whatever with it. I just did the 3-inch exhaust upgrade from Iron Rock Off-Road. I do a little video on that one, not very long. The roof rack was off of eBay. Those little cheap, you know, less than $100 I think for the roof rack. It's not super sturdy, but it's enough. I've put a couple bales of hay on it, a couple bales of alfalfa. I've put a couple, you know, little containers on it, some chairs, and strapped it down. The little Harbor Freight orange straps, and no issues, right? Nothing's flown off yet. The rear bumper also from Flatlander 4x4. I got the designs. I did make a couple changes. I kept the regular trailer hitch, the reese hitch that I already had on it. You can buy these little connectors right here off the line. And basically what I did is I made this one myself. I made it a little bit longer, so the tubes that are here, and then it has a tube going across that I welded a hitch to inside the bumper. Basically, I drilled a hole through this tube and I slid this in the tube before I put this front plate on, and I welded it. And that tube goes into the frame and is bolted to the frame. Then I welded this to the front of that tube, and then I put the plate on and welded it again, so it's not coming off. And these are just shackles from Harbor Freight. They're rated at like 10 or 12,000 pounds. Don't think it'll be an issue. I don't think it'll ever come off. Probably tear the frame up before it comes off. If I need the winch in the back, I can do that. And well, people say, well, how are you gonna get power to the winch in the back? So my next, one of my other little projects is I'm gonna run some 2-aught cable from the battery up front with a disconnect here so I can plug the hitch in. This is a back end out of a 98. If you notice, the 96s, the windows don't come up. What I'm tracking wasn't until 98. I found one same color. Mine had a dent in the back. Kind of a funny story from a buddy of mine that trailer ball was the wrong size. He went to pull his car off and it nailed the back of my tailgate or hatch or whatever you want to call it, and it I had that for a couple years, but I found one, did all the prep work. I'll show some pictures, and I left the badges kind of subdued, whatever. Also I took the plastic off because I think it looks cleaner. I left the Jeep Grand Cherokee on there, but I took the plastic off to give it a cleaner look. And plus all that plastic holds a lot of dirt and mud. So tires I got are mud terrains. They're made by a company called TreadWright. These are their guard dogs. They're a bead to bead remolded tire. They're not a retread. You can look at their website at TreadWright, and I like them. They're like a 10 ply, a little heavier tire, but that's what you get when you get 10 plies. And I've put these tires through some stuff. I mean, I really had fun with this. But one other thing I did want to cover is when I made these bumpers, if you look, there's a lot out here, right? There's a lot of weight out here. So what I did right here, let me see if I can get closer to it so you can see it, is right here I took 2 nuts, welded them together, welded them to the end of this, rounded them off, and then I stuck a bolt through the top back here and screwed it into that. This adds support to it. You can see right here, well, the Monsterliner will chip. Like I said, it's not bulletproof. It's pretty rugged, pretty strong stuff, but I got a chip in it right there. The great thing about it is you can touch it up. But basically how I scratched it was this had a sharp edge on it, and I was shoving this bumper in and fighting it, you know, and you got to set it just right, and it happened to lean up a little bit and I nicked it, but it'll be all right. It ain't gonna rust. So the rims are just some cheap rims that I got a good deal on. I think they're like 15 by 9s or something, but she runs pretty good. Actually I get better gas mileage. You know, I was only getting 13. Now I'm getting, I just did the exhaust, so I don't know if that's going to change it, but now I'm getting 16 plus. And it does have a 411 gear in it. I know it's a little more gear. It came stock with 355s, and the gear ratio works out to probably like a 373 to go to a 31-inch tire, but if I want to, I can go to 33s. Plus it gives it a little bit more pulling power. Doesn't really hurt the gas mileage that much, but it's got a 411 in it. It also has a PowerTrax Grip Pro, which is basically a clutchless limited slip differential. Works pretty good actually, no issues with it. So that's my 96 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo ZJ, and we may have a little fun. This is nothing. I mean, I'll do this in my car, but all right.